Hey guys, back again. So now we're going to take a look or start with validation. We're going to work with two sets of forms. Well, kinda. We're going to build first this form using React hooks form, okay? That allow us to get some validation, okay? And then we're going to move to another one. So we're going to um, change the things a little bit because of this input, the cover input, that you can see that we have. These are the errors. Let me just move this. Okay, let me just get those ones. And you can see we have the error with a message, with a reference and all that. So the type of the error, okay, and the name of the input on which that error is set. So far, we have three inputs. All those three inputs have the validation and is checking for the required value. So, as I said, we're going to use React hook forms. Okay, you can see how we can install that, and this allows us, to get the validation on point, but in order to handle something a little more difficult, that is going to be the post cover, and set it in an easier way, we are going to use Jup, which is a schema builder. Okay, so we're going to pass or create an schema and a provider, I think it's called. This is okay. So let me just tell you this. I've seen several tutorials about this. Okay, and all of those are using or are not up to date, so that's why I waited in order to check the latest changes. So I think that if you go here, sorry, React hook form API, I think. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't say, but you might get inside this API version 6, you might get an alert telling you that the API documentation has been modified, has been updated. You click OK and they send you to the correct version. Okay, so there are videos on YouTube that show you how to do it with an older version, so you need to be aware of that. We're going to use some different things, and also how to define Jup is going to be different. Okay, so at this point we are on August 24th, okay, 2020. So this should be at least the way of doing things for maybe 2 or 3 months. So you should be ready to go when you want to add this before the start of the next year, just in case they change something. Okay, so you just need to be aware of that. Check the documentation before checking a tutorial or something, and try to keep your documentation open as you are seeing, as you are watching the tutorial, so you can see if the syntax or if the settings are similar. Okay, so just a heads up there. And yeah, so let's actually do this. I actually recorded one where I uploaded this one, but since it's a lazy Monday, well, I'm just kind of sleepy. Even though it's 2 p.m., I'm kind of sleepy, so I just drank a cup of coffee now. So I hope that kick in while I'm recording this. So let's just add a new post we cannot, okay, we don't have this as a clickable object, so it's not going to take us anywhere. It's just so we can see that we are adding things. Let me just do whatever. But if I go too far, it's going to say, hey dude, this is too big. So let's remove some characters. That is customized again, and we can choose a file. So let me just choose boom, boom, boom. I have a PNG around. Let me just look for that. Okay, you can see only JPGs, please. Okay, let's choose a JPG. And as I said, we're going to change to UP later, only because how things are going to be handled here with React hooks, how we're going to handle the cover, just to show you, because several people, as I said, go to UP right away to handle files and all that. So I don't know, maybe someday you will need to do it only with React hooks, and I want to show that. Okay, so this is the point of this channel, to show you how to do stuff. Okay, and this should be it. Okay, we have that. I'm using Firebase, so we're going to set a new instance of that. And or maybe not, if you have an instance of Firebase, you can just create the form and connect your Firebase, and all that should be fine. So I think we're going to skip that one. I have several tutorials on which I set Firebase, so I think at this point it's not needed anymore. So you can just go to a React and Firebase tutorial. I have several on the channel, using Context API, using Redux, using the hooks. So you will see how to set up a new instance, and everything should be fine. So we can just focus on the form, so we can see that it actually works. Let me just do this. Let's open that one. Okay, it opens on my other monitor. So let me just go to Firebase. Meanwhile, let's just do this. I have all my test videos there. So let's create a new folder. So let's say validation, React validation, just to set something. And we open, I'm going to open the terminal, which comes with a Laragon. So you can open your terminal on whichever OS you are, the command prompt or the terminal in Mac or Linux or whatever. So I'm just checking my okay, so we are here. I'm using the view Firebase YouTube, so we can go to Cloud Firestore and check that we have these 4 posts. Okay, is okay, and storage. What do you want? Okay, yeah. So I have 5. Okay, I should have those. Okay, so I think that is correct. Let me just check that again. And I have 5. Okay, so everything is cool here. So this is where we're going to add the information. You know, it's always good to have something like Firebase implemented, so you can just test with kinda a real environment. So let's say npx create react app, and let's say my react validation, and this should take a bit in order to do. Npx create react app. Okay, let's just see, and We can actually set up a new Firebase, but let's just check. Okay, let's see. So that should install, and what I could do, let me just close that. What I could do right now, as it is installing, since we might not need actually to create the Firebase, so we can, let me just check. So this one is React hook form. I had this one still open. Let me just close that one. And this could take a bit. So let me just check that everything is installed in there. Okay. It's installing, I think. Yep. So create new React app. Yep. And this should start installing. Okay, you can see we have my React validation. Okay, so I can remember if it did that before, the installing of the npx. So maybe it did, but now I'm using a different terminal, so maybe I didn't see that before. So that makes sense anyways. And what we can do is just wait for the revalidation to be complete. It's just adding the JSON, and it's going to start adding or creating the files. So we can just leave this one here, wait for that, okay, to be installed, and in the next video we are going to install the React form and add the first inputs, I think. So we can leave the cover. The important thing here is the cover and how we are going to handle the validation of the cover. Remember, we are not going to use Jup in this case. Okay, we're going to use Jup after we understand how to set up the cover validation by ourselves using only the React hook form. Then we're going to build a resolver, which is called, so we can pass the schema of the Jup package, okay, and then we will be able to handle the form validation in a much easier way. But I want to show you how to set everything up first with React hook, including the cover. Okay, so let's just wait for this to install, and I'll see you in the next one.